Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to SnailMail.
SnailMail.
Thank you. I was waiting for it.
I never know if that's my cue or not, because sometimes you just roll with it. Sometimes you look over.
Yeah. This is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
You guys are gearing up for a fun Memorial Day weekend.
Whoop, whoop.
All the Memorial Day sales going on out there.
Is MFers doing a sale?
We are 20% off everything, pretty much.
Woo.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Yep.
Hey,
yeah. We do it twice a year. That's it. Memorial Day and Black Friday. So
that's the only sales you do all year?
pretty much. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
I don't want to devalue the product.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just a matter of, if you start doing sales regularly, then people stop buying when there's no sales. And we already have lots of kind of sales going on anyways because of our influencer program and affiliate program. You can always find 10% off anywhere pretty much.
Sure.
We're pretty loosey-goosey with those. You just got to find them though. You got to put in some work out there. You don't just get a free 10%.
Nice. Snail Armor is doing somewhat of a sale, but we're giving free flags for the most part.
Cool.
With so if you want a custom etched flag, then you can choose your panel and you get a free flag.
Nice.
Custom on it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So sweet. That's two of the sales going on for Memorial Day. So check those out. Let's see. This is a snail mail episode though. So we get to go over some voicemails. We have 23 to do today.
Hey, we're up from last week.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good.
I think last week we were at 24, 25.
Yeah. But I'm impressed by you guys not calling in. Thank you.
I don't think that's the message we want to be sending to people, Jimmy.
Oh, but I mean, cheers for being you.
I can't stop coughing now.
Have some more mead.
All right. Let's wash it all down. All right. First one up. Oh, it's a buddy. Kelly.
Which one?
Esprit de Four, the Scrambler Kelly.
Scrambler Kelly.
Yeah. Scrambler Kelly. So let's.
I wonder if he went to the clinic this last weekend.
I would imagine so.
Maybe.
Past president of Esprit de Four. So.
All right.
Here we go. This is California Senate state bill stuff.
Oh, shit. Okay. Bring it on.
Here we go.
Hey, Tyler and Jimmy, how you doing? This is Kelly with the Scrambler. I don't have a Toyota, but I figured I'd call because I got some good news for people who drive old junk on the trail.
Ew.
There is a new law in the California Senate called State Bill 712, also known as Leno's Law. This is going to change the smog requirements for older vehicles. Currently, the smog requirements are no smog if you're pre-75, but now State Bill 712 says that collector cars driven less than 1,000 miles a year are going to be no smog if you're older than 35 years old. So that means 1990 and older, you can drive it, no smog, cut out those cats, have a good time. The bill was introduced and passed the Senate Transportation Committee and is now moving on to the Senate Appropriations Committee. The vote will be Monday, April 28th, 2025. We hope it passes and then cut out those cats, let them rip. Have a good day. Bye.
I wonder how they're going to enforce the lower than 1,000 miles a year. Like, are you going to have to report that somehow?
It, yeah. Maybe. I'm not sure.
With your registration? I don't know.
Yeah. I know every year I have to turn in Bobcat's mileage.
Okay.
But it's also word of mouth.
Yeah.
Like nobody comes out and looks at it.
You're not sending a picture of the odometer. You're just saying, hey, it's this.
I don't think I have ever. I just been like, no, this is what it's at.
Okay.
And I just send in numbers.
Yeah.
That's what I've done in the past. I don't think I've ever sent in. I think I sent a photo maybe the first time, but
okay.
I definitely haven't done one in a while because Bobcat is registered as a classic car.
Oh, okay.
Right now because I don't ever drive it.
Yeah.
And the insurance is super low.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyways, thanks Kelly for calling in.
Yeah.
We did talk about this on a previous episode and we're excited for it. But we just need to back it and get it going. It's not approved yet. So nobody cut their cats off yet.
Yeah.
But hopefully it will go through because it will be really nice to not have to worry about smog.
Yep. I am pretty sure. So I know a couple people wrote in about Leno's Law and that's why we covered it a few episodes back. And I think since Kelly, it sounds like he called in April 19th. And he's probably one of the ones that wrote in about it as well. I'm pretty sure, I'm not pretty sure, it did pass that Senate Appropriations Committee.
Okay.
So, and that's why I think we ended up covering it, was because it made it out of that committee, which means it actually has a pretty decent probability chance of passing now and becoming a law. So
yeah, well, that'll be great but it still needs to be backed.
Yeah. It still needs for attention, for people to know it's there and for you to write to your legislators. But it made it out of the first big step where like 80% of something stupid of bills die. So
yeah. Well, that's great. And good news for California. Mm-hmm. And thanks for calling, Kelly. Good to hear your voice. Hope you had fun at the safety clinic.
Yep. Next one up is no transcript available.
Oh, fun.
2 voicemails, each 3 minutes long.
Both voicemails have no Oh,
yeah.
All
so
right.
it makes me 3 minutes of a butt dial. We'll see here. Here we go.
Hey, SnailTrail. It's Justin Cox from Chico. I was calling in about your episode today on the Sean looking at different vehicles. And I thought I'd give my 2 cents on that. First on the Honda, I don't know much about Hondas. I kind of moved away from Hondas after I had a bad experience with an Accord in college. And I kind of have been back to trying to go towards Toyotas ever since. And my grandpa's had a few bad experiences with an Accord and a couple Odysseys with rack and pinion problems, and I've heard that some of the new Hondas have transmission problems as well, but I will say the Passport does look pretty cool. And then we, on the topic of Highlander, we owned a 2017 Highlander for a few years. My wife's grandma left it to us when she passed away. We got it with 12,000 miles, and we sold it with about 86,000 miles on it, and had basically no issues with it at all. Great car. It was great for what we needed. The only reason we sold it is I had bought a 3rd-gen 4Runner that I was just going to kind of fix up and flip, and the 4Runner ended up needing more work than I thought, and I wasn't going to make any money on the flip, and we needed to put HVAC in the house. So my wife and I decided it would make financial sense to sell the Highlander, put HVAC in the house, and then use the 4Runner for a daily for a while. And we did that kind of in the height of that crazy used car market. So a used car dealership bought the Highlander for $26,000, even with the 80-some thousand miles on it.
Nice.
And then we kept the 3rd-gen 4Runner for a year, loved it, no issues with that, even though it was super high mileage and it did beat up, and I had to basically restore it. But we just needed a 3-row SUV, so we sold that a year later, and I bought a 2002 Sequoia that was 2-wheel drive, and it was pretty beat up, and I accidentally blew the transmission up in that, towing a small trailer without taking it out of turning overdrive off. That was my mistake. But then after that, we were looking at new cars, trying to get something reliable for the kids and my wife. And we were looking at the Highlander and the Grand Highlander. And we were just basically, we got priced out of Toyotas. We could not afford what they were asking, and we couldn't find the one we wanted with the options we wanted. There was just none of them. And
wah, wah. You notice he did the right thing and kept the 3rd-gen 4Runner?
I did. That was a good move.
Yeah.
I also noticed that he probably could never find the Highlander, Grand Highlander. He probably they're not available.
Yeah. That'd be my guess.
I still want to see a Grand Highlander.
Right.
Never even heard of it.
I hadn't even heard of it either before that. So,
all right, let's find out what Justin ended up doing.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Justin Cox from Chico again. I'll try to finish this up. So we just were having trouble finding a Highlander. So we kind of started looking at Subaru. I really only wanted to stick to Toyota or Subaru, and so we ended up finding a good deal on a Subaru Ascent, which is their their three-row SUV, and I was a little leery because it's just a four-cylinder, but it's a flat four-cylinder with the turbo, so it's kind of like the STI motor, just in a bigger SUV, and it cruises. I mean, when we just took it to Yosemite, I didn't even notice that we were like going up a hill. Like it did great. But I kind of wanted, eventually the next vehicle I'm looking at is back to going to a full frame SUV, and I'm really, really wanting one of the Pro 4X Armadas, so I'm glad you're considering that. I've heard really good things on the Truck Show podcast has talked a ton about them. They seem really cool. They have a twin turbo V6 now that has more power and torque and better fuel economy than the outgoing V8 did. And they just seem like a great platform. Like you mentioned, these ones now are built on the Global Patrol platform, at least especially the Pro 4X, and I think you can get at least a rear locker, maybe even a front locker in the Pro 4X, which is really cool. My only complaint about them is that the gear shifting is on like piano keys on the dash, kind of by the screen instead of a knob, like a gear shifter. I kind of like a lever. I like manuals ideally, but I at least want a lever, so I don't like the piano key shifter. But Sean with the Truck Show podcast said he felt he'd get used to it, but that's my only complaint. Besides that, they look like a fantastic SUV, and I think it would work perfect for us for doing some towing if we needed to, and hauling all the kids around. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what you choose. And I will say with that Highlander with the all-wheel drive, I got stuck in the snow and was trying to figure out how to turn off all the computer nannies to be able to try to spin tires. And in the time it took me to do that, there was already a first-gen 4Runner that was lifted that was there to pull us out. And I didn't have a hitch on it yet, so that we had to use the rim to pull us sideways and out of there, which is not ideal. But yeah, the all-wheel drive sometimes can really get you stuck. I haven't witnessed that in the Subaru. I think they're better than the Toyota.
Did he call back a third time?
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He just got embarrassed.
I think he got embarrassed, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you never looked at the Armada, did you?
I never did get to go look at one. That it was on our to view list.
Yeah.
But I think after we looked at the Land Cruiser, and decided that we were really looking more for a fuel efficient car.
Yeah.
I just nixed it from our look list.
That makes sense. Yeah. Once you realized you didn't need a 4-wheel drive and you were going to go to gas mileage views. Yeah. That changed that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. Cool stuff. I think what he was getting into there about the all-wheel drive system of the Grand Highlander versus Subaru, it's called a slip test. Oh. You can look up videos online of people doing slip tests for any vehicle you're looking for. And it's very popular with all-wheel drive models.
Yes.
So it's essentially they put the vehicle, all 4 tires end up being on rollers.
Mm-hmm.
So if you drive regularly, it won't go anywhere. But then you drop like 2 of the tires off and you just do, front.
Yeah.
And then just rear and then crossed over. So your front passenger, rear driver, and et cetera, and see how long it takes the vehicle to figure out where it needs to send power in order to move forward.
Sure. That's interesting.
So it's interesting. Subaru nails the slip test almost every single time.
Yeah. They do.
So they do a good job with their systems.
They know all-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yep.
And rallies.
Yeah, they do. Right.
Awesome.
Cool. Good stuff, Justin.
Thanks
for calling,
Justin.
man. Next up is our wrong seat pilot extraordinaire.
Chris Rea.
Mr. Rea. Yep. All right, here we go. Let's see what Chris is up to today.
Hey, what's up, Jimmy and Tyler? It's your friendly Ultra 4 escort here. Sitting in traffic in Southern California. Hooray!
Thank you.
Just catching up on some of the other voicemails talking about trail ratings. And your last one about, vehicle trail ratings +1, -0, +0 and all that kind of stuff. If you're getting that granular, you're going to need to go into drivers too. and you could probably do something with the drivers as far as like, okay, hey, if you've completed these trails, then you get, you know, a +1. If you haven't completed them, then you don't get scores. Everybody starts with a 0. And as you complete your scores, complete your trails, then your score can be created. So anyway, it's just another way to, you know, nerd out on numbers and really geek out. And in the end, we all just need to get on the trail and have fun and be safe and be stewards of the land. So anyways, have a good rest of the day. Bye.
Bye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Thanks for calling.
I love the idea of gamifying it, right? So you're you're almost like leveling up your driving skills. If you've done this in this trail, then you get this many points, right? Did you hear about the Ukrainian army gamifying their drone pilots?
No
programs. Oh my God. They get their drone pilots in the Ukrainian military. They get points for Russian military killed, Russian tanks blown up, Russian vehicles blown up, whatever it is. And then each drone pilot group, so it's usually like a group of like three people flying one drone in charge of a drone.
Okay.
Each pilot group comes up with a name for their team.
Yeah.
And their scores get posted online.
Oh, man.
So the Ukrainian public can follow along and back their favorite drone pilot team.
That's funny.
Anyway, so I'm a big fan of gamification. I think that's one of the big things why Jimmy and I have tried to start doing the treasure hunt thing, is to gamify going outside and then rewarding you guys for going out on adventures, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes me wonder about the Jeep badges.
Right? Like the Jeep badges they're I don't know, it's a fun in theory, fun in thought, but like I don't want all that shit all over my vehicle.
And not only that, but it's like, are these people really better drivers because they've done all these trails?
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
They have a lot of seat time, and seat time accounts for something.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, you've wheeled, 25 trails in Moab, so now you're a pro?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it depends on. Yeah. Are there negative trails?
Right.
How about that? It's like if you've only wheeled Moab and you haven't wheeled anywhere else, you're still at 0 or something. I don't know. But I think all those Jeep badges and Jeep stuff is a bit ridiculous, but I don't think it's a fun way to track what you've done, but it doesn't really state that you're a better driver.
No, and that's true. And I think the point of the trail badge system is to get people out more, right?
Sure.
Encourage getting out and going on adventures. And in that sense, I think the Jeep badge program has been a big success.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that people saying I've completed 30 Jeep badge of trails, Jeep trail badge trails Jeep of trail honor badges, or whatever that is.
I don't know.
I've completed 30 of them, so I'm amazing. And you're just kind of like, yeah, but what 30 was it? Did you do 30 forest roads? Like, what do you?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe this could be an Onyx thing.
Onyx, we need to talk to you. All right, next one up. Ooh, it's a long one.
Okay.
Tom with ClinkinBeedrdsStrong.
Oh, perfect. Haven't heard from you in a while, Tom.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
All right.
Here we go.
Hey, guys. It's Tom with ClinkinBeedrdsStrong. Been a while, so I figured I'd call and say hi. So, hi. Anyway, I wanted to say a couple things. First off, the little Toyota Turbo that I had, I never did figure out what was wrong with it. It was kind of a weird situation. I literally tried all the common parts on another truck, and they would work on that other truck, but not on the one that came from. So don't know what was going on there, but a mini trucking guy that I know wanted it, so he bought it, and hopefully he'll figure it out and do something cool with it. And if I hear about what the problem was, I'll let you guys know.
Thank you.
And secondly, a while back I'd called in to talk about or ask about business advice and starting a business. And if I got nothing else from those conversations I had with you guys, it was that I needed to stop being a little Nancy and just go for it. So I wanted to say thank you for that, because I did officially start my own electrical contracting company, and thanks to you guys, I had the confidence to do it.
Awesome. That's so cool.
Either way, I wanted to say that, and if you guys don't mind, I'm going to do a little shameless plug. If you guys are in the Southern Oregon area and you need a good electrical contractor, give me a call at CS Electric LLC, and it's 613-3510.
Nice.
Go ahead and edit that out if you guys don't like the idea of putting a number up there. I don't mind. And then one last thing. I just listened to the episode where you guys were talking about your favorite pirate jokes, and I wanted to tell mine, which is a pirate walks into a bar with a steering wheel in the front of his pants, and he walks up to the bartender and goes, "Arg, barkeep, give me a cup of your finest swill." And the bartender goes, "Yeah, no problem, but tell me, what's the deal with the steering wheel in the front of your pants?" And the pirate looks at him and goes, "I don't know, but it'd be driving me nuts." Anyway, we'll talk to you guys later.
I heard that one. I even signed it off over the Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hey man, congratulations.
Yeah, that's super rad.
That's awesome. Cool. I'm glad that it's working out for you. I would love to actually reconnect and talk to you about how it all went down and how everything worked out and what's happening now with your previous job or new job and all that. So hit me up. I guess I have your number.
Yeah.
Since you gave it to us.
Yeah, I want to text him because I'm curious. He was really concerned because he had a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm.
And his boss liked him.
Yeah.
And they had a good clientele and everything, but he was just kind of ready to go and do his own contracting stuff. So what I'm curious about is how your previous boss took it. And I know a lot of times in situations like that, where if your previous employer knows that you're really good at what you're doing, a lot of times they will send you business that's like they can't do. They don't have the time to do anything like that overflow. Or they'll be like, I know Tom was really good at this one specific thing. I'm just going to contract Tom for this job.
Right.
So I'm curious if your previous employer is awesome.
It's cool with
and
it.
Was doing that, or if they were like, fuck you, Tom, get out of here, you piece of shit. And kind of flipped out on you. So
yeah,
that's what I'm kind of curious about.
Me as well. But yeah, congratulations on that. And I'm glad that we were able to help you.
Yep. Next up is an unknown caller, East Kooten Steve. Something like that. Let's see what he's got to say.
Good.
Hey, gentlemen. East Kooten Steve calling back. I was just listening, and Tyler was talking about static straps for tree savers. Now, that speed strap, I think you said was a 2-inch, and most tree straps are 3 or 4 inches, just so you don't kill the bark and kill the tree and, lose the winch point for future people. So maybe just consider that. And Jimmy, you were talking about those slave cylinders and maybe going internally. I had a couple Ranger-based vehicles from the 90s that had the internal slave cylinder, and they're a disaster. You don't want to have to pull everything out of your vehicle just to change the slave cylinders. I so many times wished I had an external when I changed my internal ones, that I couldn't imagine anybody wanting to go internal, at least for that kind of application. Anyways, guys, love the show, and keep it up. I really enjoy the banter and harassment of everyone on board. So yeah, have a great day. Bye.
Thanks, Steve.
East
Kooten?
East Kooten.
Wherever that is.
I don't know. Yeah. He's called in before, but appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, good point. Static straps. You definitely don't want to hurt trees. If the worst case scenario, use a smaller strap that probably can help a tree, which is better than a winch line.
Yeah.
But yeah, use the biggest ones possible. What's that one? Dead Man's.
Dead Man Off-Road.
Dead Man Off-Road makes this huge tracts of land. No, huge like strap recovery thing that's supposed to be really good for tree savers as well. Yep. Which we should get them on the podcast sometime. They've got some interesting stuff.
Yeah. Yep. I used to have one. It got stolen when the first gen 4Runner was stolen.
Oh man. Yeah, bummer. And yeah, I think there's a Land Cruiser clutch master or slave cylinder that has the bleeder valve, instead of pointing out the side, points out the front. Okay. And that should give me all the room I need.
Nice.
Yep.
Sweet. Cool stuff. Next up.
All right, let's do another one.
Atlanta Richard.
Oh, Richard, calling back.
Yeah.
All right.
What's he up to today?
We'll find out.
Jimmy, Tyler, what's up? It's Richard down in Atlanta, Southeast Atlanta again. Man, it's Friday. It's April 25th, and there's no snail mail episode. that like a Friday thing? I think it is. Y'all must be busy wheeling or doing some other thing. Anyway, hope everything's good. Just wanted to leave some information. You guys, in one of the episodes, a couple episodes back, we're talking about, the beat grip method wheels. I don't want to say recently, but that was kind of what we switched to on the Rubicon that I wheel. And I remember when I got those things back. I understand the whole philosophy with the grips and everything for the beats. But when I took them to the tire shop, like, hey, here's my wheels, here's my tires. Can you put these tires on these wheels now? When I got them back, he never said anything. But I remember when I checked the air pressure, man, they were like at 65 pounds or something like that. And I was like, who the hell puts that much air pressure in a tire? Let alone it's going to go on a Jeep or something. But I guess they ended up having to do that to get the the beats to seat. So funny, he never, he's a little local guy, so he never complained about it or nothing. But just with everything you guys were talking about, how hard it is for the bead to come off those, I guess it's equally as hard to kind of get it to seat when you're trying to mount up a set of tires.
Yeah.
And then just kind of leading into that, I had kind of like a Toyota question. Not that I'm particularly interested in wheeling one of those or anything, but like street stuff. What's like the typical max tire size that one of those can have? I see some sharp looking Tacomas and stuff like that going down the road that don't have mattress campers stacked on top of them and stuff like that. And it doesn't ever seem like any of them are even have like 37s or anything at all. So just kind of curious. Again, I guess I don't really care, but just kind of curious. Like what all does it take to is it like 35s max on those things or what? I think I had something else in my head, but I can always call back later. I'm not trying to hit the 3-minute limit. Y'all keep wheeling. Crawl it. See ya.
Richard wants to get a Toyota.
Richard keeps on this, he says he's not this Toyota person. But didn't he have a Toyota? Didn't he call in and was thinking should I fix this Toyota up?
Was he the one that got one for his kid?
Yeah, had one and wanted to give it to his kid and fix it up. I think you already have a Toyota, Richard, so you're already in the game.
Perfect.
Anyways, do
you want to answer that question for him, Jimmy?
Yeah, but let's start off with the snail mail. I don't remember what that date was, but we really only was that
April
when you were
25th.
Were you in Moab?
Probably. I think that was one of the episodes while I was in Moab.
Yeah, we don't do snail mail episodes when Tyler and I aren't physically together.
Yeah,
mainly. We have put in a little bit of work to try to figure out how to do it remotely, but we haven't put in all the work possible. But it's just a lot easier when we're in person because we can sync it on our mixing board.
We've been ruined by the Roadcaster board, soundboard, the Road board, Podcaster Road board, whatever it's called, Roadcaster. That's right.
Yep.
We've been spoiled by it, so it's so easy to just connect a phone and stream audio off of the phone through the soundboard that. Now, if we have to like jimmy rig and finagle shit together for the podcast, we're like, we'll just wait till next time.
Yeah, we started this as sort of a bonus episode thing, but here we are. How many episodes later?
People like this segment too much.
Yeah. So I think you're talking about Tacomas. You did originally say what's the largest tire size that like Toyotas run, but then I think you started talking about Tacomas. And
I would imagine he's talking about late model.
Yeah.
To Toyotas, 4Runners, Tacomas, that kind of the popular things you see on the road.
The thing is that
Highlanders.
Yeah. Those, well, not Highlanders are like a 31 max, but it's harder to fit larger tires on those vehicles, on the ones on like a 2nd or 3rd gen Tacoma or 5th gen 4Runner. Just there's a lot of body involved in them. And if you go any larger than, even a 33 that I put on my Tacoma, I had to trim some of the plastic to get that to fit.
And use a spacer. It's a very specific size spacer.
Yeah. Well, or a certain offset on the wheel. Right. Yeah. So it's just a lot harder to put bigger tires on those things. Mm-hmm. And if you are going to ride on a 35, then you're doing fender trimming and you have no inner liners on the inside of your fenders unless you get the,
Scorched fabrication,
Scorched fab style ones, which are a fantastic product. But if you go any bigger than that, because I've seriously thought about going 37s on my Tacoma and just doing a whole bunch of modification and like doing all kinds of trimming, trying to see if I could push the axle forward a little bit or the control arms forward a little bit or something. And lots and lots of trimming, and you have to trim the fender and the inner fender and all kinds of things just to get up to like a 37. Where like Bobcat and Kermit, it's not that much. It's not very hard to put bigger tires on it, especially if you're doing a solid axle swap and things like that. It's a lot easier to put bigger tires on, and just do a solid axle swap of the new vehicles. It's a lot harder. So it's just a lot more work to put bigger tires on it.
Yeah, it is. So, and a lot of times when you do it, the transmissions kind of freak out. They don't get into the quote unquote overdrive very easily.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the new ones, but like the 2025s models, but
yeah. I mean, still, if you're going to go up, I'm fortunate with mine because mine's a manual, and I have the gearing and the ring and pinions of 4.3, where standard gearing's like a 3.9 or a 4.11, somewhere like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the manual is a 4.3. So from me going from like the 29s, 31s, or whatever it had stock up to 33-inch tires, it wasn't a big change. But if you go to 35s, you probably need to re-gear.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of options. A lot of people, when they go to 35s on the Tacomas, they go up to a 529, which I think is ridiculous.
That's too big. That's too tall.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're going so tall to solve the transmission shifting.
Yeah, true.
Because it's easier on the transmission because the gears are so tall.
Yeah.
Or you go get it tuned so that you have proper shifting points. So there's just a lot more that goes into it to building those trucks up, because they're not designed for it for the most part.
Yeah.
It's not a farm rig anymore.
Yeah.
It's now like a cruising overland vehicle.
Yeah. Yep. So that does it for today's snail mail.
All right. 7. Not bad.
7. We got a few knocked out there. So we're down to 16. That means you guys can all call. All call and leave us a ton of voicemails. Let's see if we can get over 30.
Jeez.
Jimmy's not going to be happy, everybody. So
that's okay.
All the more reason to do it. So yeah, give us a call. We love chatting with you guys. We love this segment of the show. We love hearing your feedback and getting to interact with you guys. So give us a call, 916-345-4744. And then we also have that request to call the complaint line like somebody did, 408-800-5169. And just, complain about Jeeps and especially Cherokees. Whoever decided to make an off-road vehicle with no frame, I don't know, should be soulless individual. Maybe they're ginger and that's why they did it.
That might be.
Yeah. Whoever was in charge of the Cherokee program when it first launched. Anyways, so give us a call, 916-345-4744. Unless you have a complaint about Cherokees and gingers being soulless, you can call that over to 408-800-5169. Anything else, man?
That's it.
All right, then enjoy your weekend.
Happy Memorial Day.
The number you have called has been disconnected.